Okay, on this one, I went ahead and I used the Desmos graphing calculator, and I found the graph, and I copied a picture of it into our program. We want to find the total area of the region between the x-axis and this graph from -4 to 4. So we're really looking for this little piece right here, that little piece right there, and then this little piece right in here. So for some reason, it keeps disappearing. But so I got to find that little triangle below, the little sort of half circle above, and then the little sort of triangle thing below. So I need to figure out these points of intersection also. I can do that if I can probably just look at them and see it. But if I write here -x² minus 3x, if I want to see where that equals 0, because that's where it crosses the x-axis, I can begin by factoring -x out of that, and I'll get x plus 3 equals 0. And so then I'll see that at x equals 0 and at x equals -3 are the places where this function crosses the x-axis. So that is exactly right there in there. So I'm going to have 3 integrals here. I'm going to have the integral from -4 to -3. And I have that top curve, which is just the line y equals 0, just the x-axis there, minus my curve, which is -x² minus 3x, plus the integral from -3 to 0. Now the curve is above, so I just have that -x² minus 3x minus 0. So I just have the -x² minus 3x. And then plus the integral from 0 to 4, which is going to be, now again, it's going to be the opposite, because I have the top curve is that y equals 0 minus the bottom curve. So it's going to be 0 minus -x² minus 3x. And I have to, of course, have a dx on each of these. And then I have to evaluate each of these and sum them. So this one's kind of involved. So this is going to be +x² plus 3x. So this integrates as x³ over 3 minus or plus 3x² over 2, because when I distribute this negative through, and that's evaluated from -4 to -3. And then here I'm going to have plus, I'll have -x³ over 3 minus 3x² over 2. That one I'm going to evaluate from -3 to 0. And then finally on this one, I'm going to have, these will all become positive. So that's x³ over 3 plus 3x² over 2. You're going to evaluate that from 0 to 4. And so then you have to plug this in for each one of these. You have to do f of b minus f of a. So you're going to plug -3 in and then -4 in and subtract them. So this will be -3 cubed over 3 plus 3 times -3 squared over 2 minus -4 cubed over 3 plus 3 times -4 squared over 2. And then plus, fortunately, we'll plug the 0 in and it'll just be 0. So it's going to be a minus, which is going to make all of this positive. So it'll be -3 cubed over 3 plus 3 times -3 squared over 2. So again, because it's going to be the function at 0 minus that, those negatives cancel. And then plus here, with the 0, when plug 0 in, it's not going to matter, so just plug the 4 in. So that's going to be 4 cubed over 3 plus 3 times 4 squared over 2. Okay, now let's see if there's anything that we can kind of clean up or simplify. Notice that you have this and this. You have 2 of those, and you also have 2 of these. And you're going to end up with two of everything. Actually, you'll end up with 2 of these and 2 of these, because this minus is going to distribute through with that, except this one. These are going to cancel. These are going to cancel. This cancels with this. But here, the negative is going to come out and make 2 of those. Okay, so negative 3 cubed is negative 27 thirds, and you have 2 of them, so that's negative 54 thirds. Negative 20, okay. And then negative, okay, so that's 9. There's a positive 27 halves, which means you have 2 of them, which is the half plus a half is a whole. So really you have 27, positive 27 there. So the handle, and then finally we just have this 4 cubed, which is 64. 64, you have 2 of those, so you have 128 thirds. Be interesting if I get this right. Okay, and so 128 thirds plus negative 54 thirds is, hi Cheyenne. Do you hear me? So 128 and negative 54 is 70. 74 thirds plus 27. And 3 does not go in, so you would just, you have to compute that. 27 thirds, so 27 times 3. It's 81. So you're going to have 74 thirds plus 81 thirds, which is 155 thirds. Okay?